For our ethical dilemma, we did the dilemma of lying. In our situation, there's Alex and James. Alex is about to give a very important presentation. James, being a really good friend, is backstage with Alex, prepping her before she goes on. Only a couple minutes before Alex is about to give her speech, Alex asks James if there is anything wrong and if she looks okay. James notices that there is a very noticeable stain on her shirt. He wants to lie to her and tell her that there is no stain because he knows that Alex is a very, very paranoid person and it might freak her out and ruin the presentation. However, he is very caught on whether it is okay to lie to her or not. James knows that Alex does not have time to change, so he is very conflicted. Should James lie or tell the truth to Alex?
Assuming my friend is the same size as me, I would take off my pants and give him my pants.
Probably give you my pants.
I would choose to lie.
I would give them a sweatshirt to wrap around their waist.
I don't know how to resolve the situation.
So for this situation, I would probably say telling the truth is the best.
I would lie.
In terms of telling the truth, possible positive outcomes include that your friend is thankful for telling the truth and their presentation goes smoothly. Possible negative outcomes include that the knowledge of the stain itself leads to your friend becoming self-conscious and delivering a poor speech. Your friend is then resentful that you told the truth at all.
A possible negative outcome to lying in this situation is that Alex could feel betrayed by James after finding out the truth. A possible positive outcome to lying in this situation is that Alex could deliver an amazing presentation and be forever grateful to James for not telling Alex about the stain.
I would choose to lie because I feel like the importance of his presentation outweighs the fact that he has a stain on his shirt, and if he did know that he had a stain, I feel like it would ruin the presentation and he would be much more nervous. So I feel like his grade or his presentation is more important in this situation.
Telling the truth is the best because there's different ways that she would possibly be able to hide the stain, like holding her arm across her shirt. So I think for the best results for her and helping her the most, telling the truth might be able to offer her a way to get around it.
I would lie because there's no sense in making the lecture or whatever go wrong by you being aware of the crotch stain because that would just hinder your ability to actually lecture. If I didn't tell you, you'd be fine even at the end when you found out oh, I have a stain on my crotch.
I would tell them. I would feel a moral responsibility to tell them that they had a stain on their crotch.
Although lying has a negative connotation, we decided it's the most responsible decision in this context. In order to get to this decision, James will need interpersonal skills. He must understand that the value that his friend places on maintaining an honest relationship. However, he must also consider what is in the best interest of his friend, and for this, he would need empathy and compassion. Through this kind of empathy, James could see how he would feel being in the position of having to walk on stage without knowing he had a stain. Combining this with the idea of compassion, which is described in the C framework, James would see that he should not tell Alex about his stain to relieve the potential suffering of being embarrassed on stage.
James will also need self-awareness to continue this response. Society pushes us to choose the truth because we have been raised to believe that honesty is the best policy. Through self-awareness, James can see where this idea comes from and adjust his habit of mind. This will not be impossible, considering that according to Franz de Waal, empathy and fairness are capacities that are adaptive, since humans have evolved in contexts where interdependence is necessary. He will also need the skill of self-regulation in the split second he has to decide whether to lie. He must constructively respond to emotions and impulses. Self-regulation requires social skills to interact with others in the best way for the overall group.
James will also need to be aware of the systems of interpersonal dynamics and institutional systems at play. James must use discernment to see the far-reaching consequences of his actions and gain an understanding of how success in academia will lead to career advancement. The act of considering the well-being and happiness of the whole community forms the basis of the Dalai Lama's vision of secular ethics.
Although lying involves a betrayal of trust, when the intention behind lying is compassion and comes from an awareness of how it positively plays into a system of academia and career advancement that affects the well-being of Alex, we believe that it's justified. However, one main downside is that if Alex finds out that James lied, she may be discouraged and not trust James in the future.